everybody to Sonoma Raceway for round number 2 of Racecraft TV Rallycross presented by Sparko. I'm your host Dane Bell with Josh Lee alongside and Jordan Hicks as well in the production team. Cameras today are created by Istvan below at trackcam22.com, and all is setting up for a fantastic second round of the season in not one but 2 championships. We've got RX2 and RX1 back once again here at Sonoma. Josh, we have had some fantastic racing in the first round at Phoenix. Sonoma is a circuit that breeds fantastic racing. We've seen in every single series we covered together at Sonoma, great things happen. What are you expecting here today?
I'm expecting a lot of the stuff that we saw in round number 1, which was just a lot of learning from especially these RX2 guys. But going to RX1 side, there's a lot of drivers there that have competed in the qualifying series or competed in the World Championship against each other, and now they're in a less pressure-filled area where they can really sharpen their skills and compete against each other. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with that today. But I'm looking forward to RX2 to see who is taking what they learned from round number 1 at Phoenix and taking it over here.
Yeah, absolutely. RX2, we saw a lot of drivers making some rookie errors, really, especially regarding Joker strategy. It's one of the more difficult things to pick up as a newcomer to Rallycross is when to take the Joker, and it is crucial. It can really make or break a race. Here are the standings in RX2 after round 1 at Phoenix. We've got Michael Lawrence up on top, doing a fantastic job at Phoenix. Sean Winkler, Aiden Irvin, your top 3 from Phoenix, then Trevor Teal, Crystal King, Casey Saul, James Watson, Christopher Plumley, Greg Johnson, Rodrigo Miranda. In the top 10, you can see a lot of the drivers, especially in the lower half of the top 10, Josh, have had fantastic results so far. They've actually really close in the championship. So if it continues like this, we could have some really nice battles going on throughout the season.
I think we definitely will, because Michael Lawrence, Sean Winkler, you could really see their talent when they went into round number 1 at Phoenix. Same thing with Aiden Irving. Trevor Teal has been saying he's really wanting to improve, so I'm ready to see what happens tonight, and we're already getting ready for heat number 1 to get started, and that starting grid is going to work its way up on everybody's screens, and we're going to get started. First heat of the night. This is going to be an interesting one, Dane. It's going to set the pace for the rest of the day.
And we're green already for race number 2. Heat 2, Plumley has just got the start of the century. He's already a second out in the lead. A little bit of contact further back there, beating and banging as we see the full race result up on the screen from heat number 1. Somebody has just run wide at the start of this one, and over the jumps you can see Christopher Plumley has a full second lead over the line to start lap number 1.
What a start for Christopher Plumley. Seth French, who started in second, falling way down the order. Now up into third goes Thomas Grady. James Watson there as well. Crystal King right behind. Let's see what she can do. She's been really improving in RX so far in the past and looking to improve more in this series. She's all over the back bumper of Watson as they both go wide.
Yep, onto the grass, not the fastest way around the circuit. Plumley now not going to take the Joker. Who does? One person. It's Thomas Grady, and Grady will come out just about in front of the previous race leader, and is the only person to take to the Joker on the first time by. Everybody else opting to save their Joker for later on in the race. It's just looking a little bit further back down in the field. They're going side by side as Grady has a slowdown and is actually going to lose a whole lot of time now. Slowdowns very common here at Sonoma on the Rallycross circuit, and Grady will probably end up finishing this race dead last now because of that slowdown. But right in the middle of this pack, and already having taken the Joker, sent up the inside by Seth French in the background, and Seth French makes that move up into 4th position.
You got it next lap.
Still nobody else taking to the Joker, it seems.
No.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's still having a Joker lap remaining, except for Thomas Grady there at the bottom of the field. But Christopher Plumley really pulling away now, and rather expected, honestly, Dane, when it comes to me. He is a really strong competitor when it comes to RX and when it comes to short course. He's one of those short course drivers who's trying to blend over in dirt road over over to Rallycross and doing an amazing job. And I'm kind of surprised on the performance that we saw out of him earlier, and issues in the back, and Seth French is off.
And massive contact, 3 wide, beating and banging over the jump. A couple drivers might have slowdowns from that, but there was huge contact there with Seth French. I think it was self-inflicted, just sending it way too hard into the final corner and slamming into somebody else. So huge contact with these drivers here in heat number 2. The heat number 1, very clean. Heat number 2, well, not so much.
Definitely all over the place is Thomas Grady, but he's in second place now, trying to hold on to that spot in the transfer positions, because you can see all the way back there James Watson is currently on that transfer spot. Crystal King is all over the back bumper of Grady. They both dive into the Joker lane. That's King and Watson going in. Now as they exit their way out, they'll be ahead of Thomas Grady. Grady falls to 4th, but with everybody except for Seth French done with their Joker, here comes Watson setting up the inside. Not going to be able to get inside of Crystal King.
They're still just about side by side, but King does a good job of defending that position. They don't need to battle. They are both through to the feature as it stands now. If they make contact and go off the circuit, you still have Seth French not taken to the Joker yet. Could overtake them if they beat and bang a little bit more, but coming over the jump with a humongous lead at the end of heat number 2. It is going to be Plumley who takes the win in heat number 2. Will start second in the middle of the front row in the feature race, avoids the consolation, and makes his way through very nicely indeed. Christopher Plumley doing a fantastic job there. And we are getting ready to go in the feature race. Hopefully we'll be able to get through the grid before the drivers all grid up. They're very, very enthusiastic. Nothing like we've seen with the RX1 guys, where they seem to see it as a competition to see who can grid up last. Just waiting on one more driver to grid up, and they just have. The grid is Lawrence, Plumley, Langdon on the first row, then King and Teal, and that's the top 5 as we are ready to race here for the feature race. And it is Plumley in the middle, Lawrence on the inside, and Langton on the outside with a fantastic start, and will lead through the first corner of the race. 10 laps, 1 Joker, remember, so it's a double length race compared to what we've seen in the previous races here today. Langton leads from Plumley, Lawrence, Teal, King, Winkler, Grady, Watson, Johnson, and Howell is how your field makes it underneath the top.
Hold on, baby girl, I'm in a race.
First time to start lap number 1. We'll see if Langdon can hold.
I'm in a race, honey. Just wait. I love you. Go tell mom. She's upstairs.
You can see that battle for second place as here comes Mikey Lawrence. Didn't get the best start. It's like you mentioned earlier, Dan.
Baby girl, just wait till I'm done, please.
Alley, so to speak.
Thank you.
Everybody racing down. Not a lot of real estate there in the first corner that they just went through off of the starting gate.
5 minutes.
They work their way across the Joker this time. Langton's going to come in. Who else is going to elect a Joker? Mikey Lawrence Jokers. Rather interesting to me, Dan, to see Mikey Lawrence Joker with the current race leader. Now he's going to have to try and pass him on track. No help coming from the Joker for the 85.
Yep, it doesn't look like anybody else has taken their Joker either, so it looks like the 77 and the 85, the only 2 drivers to have taken it, Langton and Lawrence, which means Plumley now can try and gain time on them. You can see Lawrence was behind Plumley when he took the Joker, and you can see right now Plumley caught up already to the back of Lawrence. Will not take to the Joker this time.
Baby girl, what I asked you.
We've seen too often in this RX2 cars at Phoenix, but the drivers just
It's not a jar, it's a child.
Plumley playing this perfectly at the moment. Joker Delta at Sonoma, 1.8 to 2 seconds. We haven't really had to talk about it much because it hasn't really been that important so far. Plumley touching the grass a little bit on the outside. 1.8 to 2 seconds gain in the Joker, which means Plumley right now, when he takes the Joker, will come out in front of Lawrence, but crucially, about half a second behind Langton, so needs to catch up a little bit more time before heading down into the Joker.
And catching up on that time is going to prove to be crucial here, Dane, especially because they start to spread out now here at Sonoma. We go side by side. Battle for 6th is going to be up on the right side of your screen, and we have the race leader, number 77, Sean Langton, there on the left side of your screen. You can see everybody a bit back in that wasp nest back there. Couple drivers starting to battle in the middle of the field, closer to 4th and 5th as we take a little bit further up. You can see all the drivers sort of running in the middle pack and struggling a little bit to get a hold of this racetrack, it looks like, Dane. But as we continue to look at that race leader, Sean Langton, very smooth sailing for that number 77 right now.
Yeah, but the gap between Plumley and Langton is decreasing, and that's crucial. It's now less than 2 seconds. It's only 1.9 seconds, although Plumley's just run a little bit too wide through turn 1, not getting the optimal line, but now gains a little bit of time on exit the gap, 2.0 seconds. If Plumley takes the Joker right now, I reckon they'll come out side by side, and that could be very interesting to watch. I wonder if Plumley's going to go maybe a couple more laps, just make sure that it is perfect, and then head down into the Joker. We will see. Not opting for the Joker this time by. Let's see what the time between the two drivers is when they head across the line. It's going to be 2.1 seconds, and not quite close enough to make a pass, but still that gap is closing down at a heck of a rate. It's now only 1.7 seconds, 1.6 seconds. So you can see Plumley really closing down that gap within a couple of laps, easily going to be able to come out in front.
Let's see when he's going to elect to Joker. That seems to be what now we're all waiting for. And you can see with Joker laps remaining, a lot of the drivers closer to the back of the field still have their Joker.
I can't make up my mind.
Does Plumley take it this time? No, he does not. He stays out onto the racetrack. Looking like he wants to catch up to Mikey Lawrence a little bit more. Crystal King is going to elect a Joker. That's going to move her all the way up to P4. What a helpful Joker there for the 278. She's going to move way up the field, now inside of the top 5.
And Plumley has lost a lot of time, hit the wall, got a bit loose into the final corner, now ran extremely wide into the first two corners and lost around about half a second to Langton. Langton running a bit wide, actually running, getting a bit of oversteer there into the penultimate corner off of dirt, and has lost time themselves. And Plumley into the Joker now. The gap was only about 0.8 seconds, comes out of the Joker now, side by side, and into the race lead goes Christopher Plumley. A fantastic Joker strategy now with just 3 laps to go, and we're going to have a battle on track for the lead. Langton to the inside, but can't quite make the move stick.
We look off the back of the 36 of Christopher Plumley. Now the battle is going to shift to that battle for second place. The cone goes flying with 3 to go. So does Sean Langton. He gets spun coming through the third section. Looked like he got a little bit too loose there, Dane, went spinning around.
And that's given Plumley a nice 1.2 second lead as well. The only person not to Joker so far is Grady, and Grady's in 6th position, too far back to make anything happen with that Joker. So now 2 laps to go. Plumley in prime position here to take the win in the second round of the season.
2 laps to go, still an opportunity for the 85 of Mike Lawrence to close his way in. Question is, can he? That battle looking like about a second in between these two. Now remember, he doesn't have a Joker lane left, so Mikey Lawrence in the 85 going to have to rely on a mistake from Christopher Plumley, or it's an absolutely perfect final lap. But as they make their way over the jump, Plumley is checking out, and the white flag is going to be out.
Yep. Almost a full second of a gap between Plumley and Lawrence up at the front. Langton still has a 3-second gap between himself and King in 4th, so nothing, no problem for Langton there, but probably not particularly happy that Langton's ended
almost, baby girl.
down in 3rd. Plumley, however, doing a fantastic job. A little bit of a drift there out of the dirt section, losing some time, but on the final lap, it doesn't really matter. The gap has decreased all the way down to 0.3 of a second, but through the final corner, Plumlee will go and doesn't get a good run out of the job. Lawrence, however, does, but it's not going to be enough. And across the line goes Plumlee to take
Good
the
race.
win in round number 2 of the Racecraft TV.
You are?
Yeah.
Presented by Sparko RX2 class.
For this
Plumlee
car, yes.
taking the win. Lawrence
You so
finishes
proud of me?
in second.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a
Langton
hug.
in third.
Ugh.
Everybody finishing the race. That's always a
Love
good
you.
thing to see. And we'll get the full results up on the screen in
Yeah,
just
go
a
do a
moment.
pizza.
I'm not sure if those are the final results up on the screen now. Yes, they are. Here we go. No, it's not, because Plumlee won. Unless we've had some post-race penalties. I believe that was qualifying results. There we go. This is more like it. 0.3 of a second was the gap between Plumlee taking the win and Mikey Lawrence in second. Sean Langton in third. Then Crystal King finishes in fourth, 6 seconds back from the leaders. Sean Winkler in fifth. James Watson in sixth. Andrew Howard in seventh. Trevor Teal in eighth. Thomas Grady in ninth. And Greg Johnson in the sole Ford down in 10th. And what a fantastic race that we've just seen, especially up at the front, Josh. That was super exciting stuff.
Very much so. And as we wait for a handful of those drivers to work their way into our interview room, it was an exciting RX2 round, to say the least. We saw a lot of improvement, I think, from a lot of the drivers. Phoenix was a bit of a carnage fest, especially towards the back, but like you mentioned, Dane, seeing everybody finish that race in the feature was pretty amazing to see. And we saw some good battles as well, and don't think we had a surprising winner there in Christopher Plumlee. He's going to join us here in a moment in the broadcast booth, but just what a good round we saw here from Sonoma. I'm interested to see what's going to happen in RX1 now, because this is going to sort of set the pace for that.
Yeah, and those drivers are a little bit higher level. I would say usually cleaner. Not always, though. It doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you see a few naughty moves here and there in RX1. But yeah, World Championship drivers, World Championship level drivers from the qualifying series, and just other extremely fast drivers. You know, this is a very big and very fast grid that we have in RX1. I'm really excited to see what they can do when we get ready to go racing there in a few minutes time. But it is time to get our race winner in RX2 for round number 2 at Sonoma into the broadcast booth, and here for a chat with us, it is Christopher Plumlee. And what a fantastic way to start off the season, round number 2, and you've got your first win.
Yeah, that's didn't expect that to come so soon, especially with these.
Well, talk us through that race, especially in the feature race, because you were behind for most of it. The two drivers in front of you, Lawrence and Langton, taking to the Joker early on and just trying to get that gap down. You were sort of going a little bit back and forth, just dropping below that 2-second mark and then making a couple of mistakes into turn 1, I saw, dropping back slightly, but eventually just getting that gap down low enough. What was the aim for you? What sort of gap were you trying to pull up to them before you made your way down into Joker?
I just wanted to, I knew they both went early, and I just wanted to kind of close the gap as much as I could. But I didn't want to do it too late in case I screwed up in turn 1 there, or I got to slow down and had enough laps to, maybe correct it. So yeah, just try to do my best, and it worked out.
Yeah, and especially with round 2 of the season over and done with. Sonoma is one of the drivers, most drivers that I know, one of their favorite circuits. What are your thoughts on the circuit compared to Phoenix from round 1? Now, obviously, you took the win here, you didn't in Phoenix, but which circuit do you prefer out of the two of them?
I definitely Sonoma. It's fits a little more to my driving style with the Pro 4s. And it's a little bit easier when you don't have a wife screaming at you to open a jar of spaghetti sauce while you're mid-race. So I'll take this one, yeah.
All right, I love hearing some of the troubles that sim racers go through, because they really can be quite unique. I've never heard that one before. That's a new one for me. Thanks for that. Yeah, congratulations on taking the win. First win of the season. Do you think you can get a couple more wins by the end of the season? There's still quite a long way to go.
I mean, as long as I'm able to get some laps on the track, I think I can compete. Winning, that's a coin flip, honestly. I'm really new to these, so we'll see.
Well, let's hope for your sake that you can get up on the top step of the podium a couple more times in some of these feature races. A fantastic Joker strategy and race for you today in the feature. Christopher, thank you so much for joining us on Racecraft TV. Before we let you go, is there anyone I think of a thank to?
Yeah, I got to thank guys over at Factory Sim Sports helping me get dialed in on the rally side here. Never really had any interest in it, and they talked me into it. So Keaton, Crystal, Tyson, shout out to Josh for talking me into this nonsense. I'm really enjoying it, and ZK Designs for my stream overlay and painting my car. T-Stone Enterprise for all the swag giveaways on my stream. And yeah, anybody else there? Oh, Legion Speed Sports, guys over there. Thank you. And just anybody in the stream that is always stopping in and chit chatting. Just appreciate you guys.